Rich, are you there?
I'm here.
Nice to see you, man. How are you?
Good, doing good, dude. How are you?
I'm doing well, dude. So obviously we got so much to cover. In 2021, I mean, there's already been so much moving as far as, social media goes, as far as search goes, period, marketing overall. But man, real quick, because this is such a really, you know, hot issue right now. I'm sure you're aware. You're kind of the guy that put me onto different stocks and things like that. So I know you're aware of kind of what's going on right now with uh, Robinhood,
Hmm.
apps like that, where apparently something happened with GameStop stocks and BlackBerry stocks and all these things, and
AMC and yeah.
yeah, all of them. And then apparently, uh, the app makes it where we can no longer buy or sell any stocks from these places.
Hmm.
The part that really was getting to me was just how there's news that came out that Google actually deleted 100,000 negative reviews from their app store that were directed towards Robinhood, the app. And I mean, as
Hmm.
far as we tell everybody this all the time, business owners all the time, you can't do that. Like if you get a negative
Yeah.
review, you know what I mean? It's best practice to face it, to actually
Fix it.
reply to it, figure out what
Hmm.
you did wrong and go from there. But apparently there was a way for Google to take out 100,000 negative reviews. They literally went from a 4-star rating all the way down to a 1-star rating.
Yeah.
And now that they got all those reviews deleted, they're actually better than 4 stars now. So interesting there how that works, man.
Yeah, it's some crazy stuff. I mean, obviously there's there's wrongdoing from Robinhood, basically going against the reason why most investors chose Robinhood because they were supposed to be for the people.
Yeah,
They,
yeah.
they had a tweet, I think it was back in 2018 or 2017 that said, let them trade, because as anyone who is getting into stocks and investing knows, you're the little fish. If you're a
Right.
retail trader, you're the little fish. There's no way for you to manipulate the markets or to affect the markets in any way because you do not have the billions of dollars that these corporations, banks, hedge funds, all of them have. And from my personal experience, talking to someone who was like a Wall Street trader and his parents were Wall Street traders, I asked them, I was like, so if we all started to like buy a certain stock or anything like that, like would we be able to change the inflection of price? And he said no, like there's no way to compete. But now we're seeing through these Reddit groups that it is possible.
Hmm.
But because of that, because of the little guy getting ahead, um, Robinhood is basically they had to shut it down because it wasn't within their best interest to allow these hedge fund investors to lose money. Because ultimately, when you think about it, Robinhood is a free application. Any app that is free, you are the product. You are not the customer. You're not the client. You're the product. So they take your information, sell it to the hedge fund investors, so that they can short squeeze and all of that, and then sell that information back to you. And that's how it works. So
Mm.
when they were losing money, they had to shut it down. They were like, look, Robinhood, shut down, their buying power because we're losing money, which means you're losing money.
Right.
So in turn, the people who are like, well, I like Robinhood because they allow me to be an investor, even though I'm only one person.
Hmm.
People have their trust is broken. They've gone against what the policy was, and now people left bad reviews because of that, justfully. Like it's all justified. Those are all organic reviews. It's not like some knee jerk reaction. It's not a meme. It's not like you know Gen Z trying to take down someone through the internet.
Yeah,
It's actual real people legitimately upset with a service that was provided by an application on Google, and enough so that they decided to give it a lower rating, as it should, until it regains that trust. But now, I mean, who knows what the guidelines are for what reviews can get deleted and what reviews can stay. So,
exactly.
what's the point of even having a review system if you're just going to delete 100,000 of them because it just happened overnight? That doesn't mean that it's less valid.
Correct. And then and the validity of these reviews is something that's important to business owners. And um if this was a Yelp review, if this was, a Google My Business review, we get negative reviews all the time, and a lot of them aren't always
Hmm.
accurate. Like people troll on reviews, like it's a thing. Um, so that's when you can maybe flag it, go to Yelp, go to GMB, and say, hey man, this never really even took place. There's no record of this person ever coming in or buying anything or using our services. Um, this review has nothing to do with our store. Can you please take it down for us? And then that's when they can kind of further investigate, obviously, and then take it down a little bit. Not all of them,
Hmm.
but you get a good, if you can provide facts like this is not true, they take it down, no problem. So I guess that's where the question comes into play then, is what constitutes these reviews for being inaccurate enough for Google to say, I'm going to pull them down. Now, obviously, you can find the app also on the Apple Store, Apple App Store. They still have the same rating, so I haven't heard anything yet of how they handled the situation or if they took any of those down. I believe they're a 4.4 the last time I checked this morning, in the App Store, and they haven't
Hmm.
changed.
4.8.
4.8 now. Okay, so it's really
Yeah.
it's interesting, man. Like what I believe, all these people. Let's just say even half of those people, 50,000 people, had a negative experience because so many people were buying into this thing. You know, this
Hmm.
we're talking about a class action lawsuit that's in play, like as of yesterday when all this stuff was going down. So
Yeah.
this isn't a lie. Like this has really affected many, many people, and for them to get on a review, sometimes it feels like it's the only outlet that you have. And for Google to kind of say inaccurate, this is not true. Let's take it down. Like that doesn't even matter. That's that's scary. It, we don't know how that actually happens. How does Robinhood, you know, prove that it's inaccurate information? And then you kind of question now, how far can a business go in order to protect their reputation? It's a little, it's dicey, man. It's really dicey.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. It sets a weird precedent for the future. It's kind of like, if you're willing to do this for Robinhood, right? And there's a certain power within that because they're connected to billionaires essentially, right?
Yeah,
So what are what do you need in order to be able to protect your reputation? So if all of a sudden I get 10 negative reviews
hmm,
because because of something I said on social media, for
yeah,
let's just say that, right?
right,
And that has nothing to do with my business. So can I get those taken off? Now, what if it's 1,000 or 10,000? Because that's just how
yeah,
cancel culture is these days.
yeah,
So what constitutes being able to have things taken off because it's not accurate representation of your brand?
right, yeah,
I think that honestly, I feel like Google kind of goofed on this one. I think that they, while maybe 10 years ago, this wouldn't have been a big deal or as big of a deal, but people are a lot more aware of what's going on in the world and how companies have to be transparent now.
yeah,
So, that transparency, they probably would have gotten away with it before, but now that's just not the case. And I would expect people to be trying to put those reviews back on.
Hmm.
But I mean, since the score is still the same, I would just kind of assume Google's just not allowing those types of actions. Um, just speculation, just from the
Yeah,
community of people. 100,000 people. If you take them off, at least some of them are gonna come back and be like, "No, I'm putting my review on like that."
correct.
It's
Yeah,
just, I think it's all messed up. The system's looking a little rigged the way that it is. But we
yeah,
we need to, and instead of deleting these reviews, Robinhood should do better
yeah.
and
Uh,
address these issues, and
I
just
think I think the guidelines definitely need to be looked at. Revise them and make it absolutely clear as possible. I think another thing that we have to just make sure, obviously the people that listen to our podcast we've seen are they all typically have they're small to medium sized businesses. And we tell them all the time, and we've predicted how much in 2021 we think just being quote unquote real um, and having conversations and everything like that, everything that we talked about in our previous podcast episode, it seems to be spot on. Everything is coming into light. I think this is something where we start to notice, even the small to medium sized business owners should take notice right now that you're very vulnerable when it comes to public
Mhm.
opinion. And this is why you can
Yeah.
have the best product in the whole world, but if your service just sucks, man, if you're just mean people or you do something that looks shady to anyone and not really give a good explanation as to why is it this way or how did it work out that way, what are you doing these things for, whatnot, it can tear you apart. Again, man, keep in mind the Google App Store had these guys rated at a four stars. They dropped to 1 star in one day, and all it took was one incident, and it affected 100,000 opinions and views. So I just want to make sure that every business owner out there, obviously, reputation is huge. The amount of reviews that you get, how frequent they come in, and obviously, 5 star rating as opposed to 1 star rating can make or break a business. Guys, keep that in mind. And if you have any insight, obviously, what we and Rich went over today, it was just all speculation. News is still coming up as we speak. I'm sure it's going to be active all week long, man. But I appreciate
Hmm.
you taking a little bit of time to just go through this stuff with me. Listeners, if you're out there and you got insight, man, let us know. Give us a call. Send us a tweet. We're out there. We're active. You can find us. I'll leave links in there for the TC, the Think Creative social media, which you see here in the corner. You can also reach Richard at king.richard with 3Ds. Or if
Hmm.
you can get to me at Mateo_Irie. That's on Twitter, Instagram, all of them, man. So appreciate your time, Rich. Let's
Yeah.
dig into this a little bit more. Maybe we'll have some more to share in the near future.
Right on.
All right, later, guys.